A new Canadian study has found that young women who take a break from social media have a significant boost in self-esteem and body image. The study was done by the Faculty of Health at York University. It shows switching off social media even for a week made a major difference. Well, one of the authors of the study says they're hoping the data can be used to help protect young people and influence social media companies to give users more control over how they interact with these platforms. And for more on that study, we're joined live by its co-author, Jennifer Mills, a psychology professor at York University. It's a pleasure to chat with you. Thanks for joining us, Jennifer.
Thanks for having me.
Very, exciting news about the takeaway of this, because I think for a lot of parents out there, they might notice some changes in their child when they're, looking on their phones too much. What are some of the key takeaways from this particular study?
Yeah, so we weren't so much surprised by the results. There has been a lot of research that's been coming out over the past 10 years, looking at the correlation between social media, in other words, the amount of time people spend on social media and things like anxiety, body dissatisfaction. And in this particular study, we wanted to get more at the cause and effect. So if we were to take away social media, would we actually see improvements in these kinds of psychological measures? And that's exactly what we found. We were surprised at a few things. One is that we didn't have as hard a time getting participants for the study as we expected we might. When we were in the planning stages of the study, the student who ran the study and I were thinking, are we going to be able to find young women who are interested in taking a break from social media? But as soon as she posted the study, of course, there were lots of signups. That wasn't an issue in the end. Another surprising result was the strength of the relationship. So in statistical terms, we can measure the strength or the robustness of the association between the variables, in this case, taking a break from social media and having better self-esteem and better body image at the end of the week. So this is exciting. It has to be replicated, of course, but it suggests that this is a real effect, that people might find a meaningful difference in their real lives if they were to decide that they wanted to take a break from social media.
Well, furthermore, let's talk about some of the, the physical and mental benefits that, people experienced once they kind of separated themselves. I'm guessing everything from anxiety kind of went down a little bit, maybe feeling a little bit more pep in your step and not feeling as depressed. What were some of the actual tangible benefits that you saw from some of these participants?
Yeah, so the measures on which we found the significant results were questionnaires that we gave participants at the beginning of the study and then again at the end of the study. And we used standardized measures of self-esteem and various aspects of self-esteem, as well as a measure of body image. In other words, how people feel about their bodies. And so those were the results that were statistically significant. Another interesting and nice piece of the study was that we were able to talk to participants at the end of the study. And we asked them, how was your experience? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And a lot of the participants said that they would like to stay off of social media, that they enjoyed the break, and that they found that they filled that extra time in their day with things that we know are really beneficial for physical and mental health, such as exercise or sleeping more or getting outdoors or spending time face-to-face with friends and family.
Jennifer, I'm curious, there is a lot of focus and scrutiny that is headed towards a lot of these big tech companies. We have a $4.5 billion class action lawsuit by several school boards against the owners of TikTok and Meta and Facebook and Instagram. And I'm curious, though, what role do you think these big tech companies need to play when it comes to bettering the health of its users? Because a lot of the criticism is that they perpetuate a lot of these addictions that lead to these mental health disorders and having self-esteem issues.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, I'm not on social media myself. I rely on my students and participants to talk to me about the kinds of things that they've noticed in their interaction with the platforms. The kinds of things that people talk about would be, for example, the difficulty in getting away from some kind of content. So if they're looking at some kind of content that they know is, or they suspect is having a negative effect effect on their mood, how they feel about themselves. It can be really difficult to reset the algorithm, so to speak, or to try to steer away from that kind of content. And nowadays, of course, another thing is that social media seems almost mandatory. It seems obligatory as part of social life for young people. And there's a fear, perhaps, of missing out if they're not regular. These are the kind of things that we've heard about being obstacles to people getting off of it.
Jennifer Mills, psychology professor at York University. We appreciate your time and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.